Aloha and welcome to your Lemurian energy update for October 2024. Now, I wasn't originally thinking I would do an update at this time, but my guides had other ideas, so here we are. I'm going to talk about what's going on energetically both now and in the months ahead from a Lemurian point of view. And before we get into the details, I need to talk about October for just a minute. October has always been my favorite month. In the past, it was because it was the changing of the seasons, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, where it would get chillier and the leaves would turn color. Halloween, I loved Halloween. But these days, I love October because of the numerological implications. It's a big word, isn't it? Well, according to Lemurian numerology, a complete cycle is 1 to 9. So when we look at the 12-month calendar, as we go from January to September, we do a complete cycle of 1 to 9, from beginning to completion. And when we get to October, we return to a 1, so that October, November, December is a little mini cycle of 1, 2, 3. And this is great because in many ways, October is like a do-over month. I remember when we were kids, something didn't go right, we were playing a game, someone would yell, do over, and we'd start again, fresh. Well, that's what October's all about. As we return to this number 1 in this little mini cycle of 1, 2, 3, this is your chance to look back over what you've experienced this year. And if there's anything that you feel that you didn't dive into the way you wanted to, or something that you didn't complete, some project, whatever it is, this is the perfect time of year energetically to look back over the year and say, well, I still have 3 months of the year. This is a do-over. I can start again, or I can revisit that idea, that dream, that project that maybe you thought about earlier in the year. And you have time now. You have 3 months to get going on it. So October is a great month. Now, what's going on energetically? Well, my guides are saying, and you've probably felt this, energies are moving faster and faster all the time. And my guides are just gently reminding us that we have to maybe make a little bit more conscious effort to keep up with the faster moving energies. It's like driving a car and moving, on the on-ramp onto a fast highway. You can't just keep chugging along at the same speed that you did on the side roads. You have to get up to speed and keep up with traffic. So that's where we are right now. We really need to be aware of faster moving energies because things are changing so quickly and we need to keep up. My guides also gave me an image for what's happening now and in the months ahead. It's this upward spiral. As you can picture, as we evolve individually and collectively, it's a spiral. There are cycles going on in our lives, but as we evolve, it's an upward spiral, okay? We're constantly going upward, but there are cycles involved. And as we evolve and our spiral moves upward, it also expands. So that's what evolution is all about. It's about expansion, new energies, new understandings, and that's what we're doing right now individually and collectively. Our spirals are getting bigger and they're getting higher. Now, for some of us, or in some aspects of our lives, we might feel stuck like on a merry-go-round that, yes, it's a spiral, but it's not going anywhere. It's stuck, kind of like a scratched record. For those of you that remember LPs, vinyl records, there could be a little nick in a groove and the needle would jump and you hear the same cycle over and over again. Well, if you feel stuck, don't give up hope. But this is the time to start looking at that stuckness and think, okay, I need to keep up with the rising energies. How can I do that? And this is important for this reason. As that spiral keeps growing and moving upwards, which is your higher self, by the way, because your higher self is always evolving with or without you. Because everything that you experience, everything that you dream, desire, fantasize about, all of that goes into your higher self's wisdom, and your higher self expands and evolves, albeit non-physically. Now, if you don't keep up with that evolution, that expansion, that rising of your spiral, it's going to get more and more uncomfortable. So if you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, be aware of it, be honest, and start asking the universe, your higher self, for ways to become unstuck so that you can keep up with your expansion. Because the more you keep up with it, which is where you're supposed to be going, the easier it's going to be, the more joyful it's going to be, the more fulfilling the whole experience is going to be. Now, another thing that's going on while we're in this rapid phase of expansion and evolution is that old memories, old energies might be coming up for you. And this could be memories out of nowhere from 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. You think about people you haven't thought about in years. You think about situations you haven't thought about. When these old memories or energies are coming up, they're coming up for a reason. These are things that you don't need to linger on, but you need to at least acknowledge and let go, make peace with it. You know, remember I talked about being stuck. This is one way we stay stuck, is that we hang on to old experiences, old reactions, old beliefs. And when this old stuff comes up, recognize it, make peace with it, don't linger on it, let it go, because that will free you to continue your upward spiral. Here's another interesting energetic theme that's been coming up recently for a lot of us, and that's the idea of duality. Somebody emailed me a question just this last week about Lemurian and Atlantean energies, and that got me thinking, and my guides were, of course, guiding me to think about this. There's a lot of duality going on in the world right now, a lot of duality and apparent opposites in almost every facet of our lives. And in some ways, life seems to be getting more and more polarized all the time. Political parties, masculine, feminine, Lemurian, Atlantean. There's so many things in our day-to-day life that feel like opposing forces, you know, this duality, this opposition. The message for us is that we're moving beyond polarization. We're moving beyond duality. That's another thing that my guides say that we should be paying more attention to, because we're evolving into our multifaceted, multidimensional selves. We're moving beyond duality. We're moving beyond polarities. Polarities are a very third-dimensional experience, and we're moving beyond that. So when you catch yourself thinking in terms of black and white, A and B, masculine, feminine, whatever, take a step back and remind yourself, hey, this is a time of moving into my multidimensional self, my multifaceted self, the multifaceted aspects of this reality, that everything we experience is simply a facet of the whole. And so if we see something that seems like an opposite, it really is just one of many areas. So in some sense, we're being guided to acknowledge the gray areas in all aspects of our lives, that these are all facets of this beautiful multidimensional self that we are, and the multidimensional reality that we live in. This is where we're headed. We're headed to a true multidimensional, higher vibrating version of who we are. And at the same time, we're in the process of merging with a future version of ourselves. So there's a future you out there that has achieved a much higher level of awareness and connection and integration of this multifaceted self. And so you're simply on the journey moving towards that eventual reality, because that version of you already exists non-physically, and you're in the third dimension simply doing the journey so you can experience what it's like to become that person. So much fun. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be offering my Lemurian Healing Masterclass again this month. This is something that I offer a couple times a year, and it's always popular. I get such great feedback because in this 1 hour free masterclass, I share with you the #1 secret that makes Lemurian healing so powerful and so effective. Plus, I give you some tips and instruction on how you can start healing yourself immediately from a Lemurian point of view. Plus, you get to experience Lemurian energy directly. So this is coming up in the middle of October. I've put a link down in the description so that you can get on the invitation list. Okay, back to the energy update. With the energies that are swirling around starting in October and moving through the months ahead, what's the best way of approaching or taking advantage of these energetic themes, waves, momentum? Well, my guides say there are two main ways that we can capitalize on what's going on energetically. The first, and this is something they've been talking about basically since a year ago, when they said, okay, coming up in 2024, you developing your relationship with the non-physical realms is more important than it has ever been in the history of humanity. And that was pretty bold language. I can't remember exactly the words they said, but they impressed upon us that this was the time to really take seriously the non-physical realms, because that's where all the action is. Your higher self, your spirit guides, all those beings of love and light that are rooting for you and supporting you from the other side of the veil, they're all here to assist in this evolution of human consciousness, of your personal evolution to a new higher octave of experience. They're all here to help. And in fact, that's where all the guidance is. That's where all the wisdom is. So we need to be tapping into that in order to make our own journeys smoother, more enjoyable, more successful. We're here in the third dimension, the dense third dimension. We're at the end of the manifestation list. Everything happens non-physically before it becomes a third dimensional, five-sensory manifestation. So if we want to get in on the actual genesis of the manifestation, we need to work with the non-physical realms. And my guides have been saying, start developing a better relationship with your higher self, with your spirit guides, with your angels, whatever beings of light really speak to your heart. Make a conscious effort to start developing a conscious relationship with them, because they are going to give you shortcuts, guidance, information that you need step by step as these energies keep moving faster and as your spiral expands and gets higher and higher. So that's the first thing. And my guides reminded me this week that the human journey right now is a journey from fear and doubt into love. That's our journey, from fear and doubt into love. And the easiest way to accomplish that journey is to intimately be connected and communicating with the non-physical realms at all times. The second big idea that my guides shared with me to help us take advantage of these new, faster moving energies is to trust your intuition. Trust the guidance, the messages you receive. Trust your knowing, because you know things. This has come up frequently in the last few weeks in my private client sessions. I was teaching a course on channeling. I was teaching a small group of people how to channel from a Lemurian point of view. And this theme was just running through all of the work, because people are receiving wonderful messages, intuitions, knowings, but there's this big feeling of doubt that comes up. They don't trust it. They think this is fantastical. This can't be true. They're afraid to admit it or share it. But deep in their hearts, they know this is true. And when I have pushed clients or my students to really examine how they feel when they receive this information, that's all they need to know is like, okay, if it feels this way, you can trust it. Let go of all that fear and doubt, because maybe that worked for you when you were younger or in the past, but moving into this new phase of human evolution, we need to trust our intuition. We need to learn how to trust the messages that come to us, the knowing that we have. And so my guides have said, okay, another part of this human journey right now is from belief to knowing, that we have to move from believing things to actually knowing them without a doubt. That, belief means there's still some kind of doubt. We're taking some things on faith. Knowing something, that's an absolute. That is something that you can trust. So we're being guided to trust what we get, because it's important not only to communicate with the non-physical realms, spirit guides, angels, goddesses, your higher self, but when we do receive messages, doesn't matter how big it seems, we have to learn to trust it. And the easiest way to decide whether you can trust something or not is just ask your heart. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, put your hand over your heart if you want to, and just ask, is this true for me? And that's all you need to know. So as always, I would love to hear from you. Has any of this information resonated with you? What kind of things have come up in your life recently? And what kind of insights or aha moments have you had about what's going on energetically? I'd love to hear from you, so be sure to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here, and thank you for being here and co-creating an amazing human journey for all of us. I appreciate you so very much. And until I see you again, I send you my love and light from Lemuria. Aloha.